Hello and welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. We are here pulling with you on this gorgeous Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. I am joined as always by my best friend and co-host, Uber Puzzy. And down here in the corner, Rufus. You probably can't see him, but you can definitely hear him. He is happy about the weather. Dino, the other dog that barks. Good Lord. Hello, dog. I don't know your name. All the dogs just bark at me all the time. I don't know any of their names. I'd be barking at me, too, if I forgot my name. I'm offended on your behalf, brother. Yeah. He's trying to tell me he wants to go outside. He doesn't have to go to the bathroom or anything. He just wants to go outside. The sun is chirping and the birds are shining, and it's like 60-some degrees. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in a good way, but...
We hit 70.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the resub, man. Can you believe it's been 2 years? Good Lord, man, 2 years. I appreciate having you here, but ain't you got nothing better to do with your money? Yeah, no, touching right up on 70, man. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. I hear tell you got outside and got some sunshine and touched some grass today.
I got the hairs did cut too.
Nice. I approve of this very, very much. I probably will not do the same. I will go outside, but haircut, not gonna happen. I did, however.
I had a weird tuft of hair on one side, like that grew. Not the other side, just one, but it was right where I wear my hat. And somebody noticed my hair was sticking out on one side by like a little bit, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that, man. I did get the ceiling fan cleaned in the kitchen, though. It is immeasurably gross. Immeasurably gross. It is less so now, but it is still pretty rough.
I need to clean mine, and then I will bring you my cattail cleaner majigger. It's like a...
Dusty whatever.
It's like a giant pipe cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a 3-foot long, 2-inch diameter pipe cleaner, but you can bend it to make, a hook to just pull that off.
Well, the problem I have is all the dust in my house is also sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took legitimate scrubbing. Yeah. It was rough, but it is much better, and hopefully the moving air will help it not accumulate so much.
Actually, no. The moving air is what makes it accumulate because they build up static charge. And that makes the dust, because the friction of them going around builds up a slight static charge because of the friction on it, and that's why the dust adheres to it.
I can get that, but at the same time, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the dust accumulation would be different in it moving and it not moving. If nothing else, the type and quality of dust and grime and accumulation.
Well, if it's moving, you could just hold a broom up to it and let it clean itself.
Yeah.
And as to why I don't shave it at home, sure. I was out and about and I had $20 in my pocket and I was passing near where the haircut place. I have a nice wall, like actual hair cutter, not just like an actual hair cutter thing. Because we have, like, during the pandemic and stuff, I'm like, well, might as well just get that and cut my own hair. And it's packed up and I didn't feel like getting it out, and I had 20 actual cash dollars in my pocket, and I'm like, one hair shaving, please.
The best part, it was 10 $2 bills. I'm not even going to ask how he got them, but he had 10 twos.
Somebody did that. I ended up giving them to a lady at work who loves them, but somebody bought something on Facebook Marketplace for like $10, and she's like, I know this is going to sound weird, can I give you 5 $2 bills? And I'm like, absolutely, because I know somebody that I can trade them to that will absolutely love them.
I know several people. If you ever need another person, I know several people. Ashley collects them too. So, not that we have any shortage of people that collect weird currency I still save all my drummer boys for Diane, and I haven't seen her in years. All my bicentennial quarters.
There's new quarters out. I saw one. It wasn't a state quarter.
It was like a national park one.
I've got a Crossing the Delaware one right here.
Interesting.
I've got a Crossing the Delaware and a Georgia.
Sounds
Yeah,
about
there were
right.
some state quarters and yeah.
It's weird. That's cool. That's cool and weird. Currency in general is just weird. I got very unacclimated to it, especially during the pandemic, but before then too, you know. All my money flows out electronically and in sporadically, so I don't have any actual like paper money or metal money at any time for the most part. Every once in a while, but
somebody, I was talking to some lady that bought something, and she was like, "Yeah, I just discovered it. You know, I love." She's like, "What's it look like on the other side when I was showing her like from the seller side what it looks like?" Because she old lady just got into buying stuff off Facebook, and I'm like, "Well, here I'll show you." Like, I brought it up, like, "Here's you," and I can mark as sold, and I can rate you, and like this, it's a little bit different on the web interface than the app, but this is basically it's just the other side of this.
I kind of need you to walk through that with me at some point. I'm sure I can figure it out, but boy, would I like some hand holding through it, and then I'll start listing some of the stuff I've got.
I will show you, and once you do it the first time, you're like, oh, this is actually relatively simply.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't imagine
do.
It's complicated. I've used other sales platforms in general before. It's more just sit over my shoulder and thump me on the head so I don't get a panic attack.
The thing that's weird is like you put something up, and obviously they promote it because it's new, so
Right.
It comes up in circulation or suggestions and stuff, and then if they're like, hey, it hasn't sold yet, you want to refresh it, you can refresh it up to 3 times, and then like, okay, I just whatever, and I forget. I figured it just goes away.
Yeah.
I posted that weed barrier stuff in like October of last year, like fall, like just getting rid of fall stuff.
Yeah.
She found it. It was still up. And I figured I'll just leave a lot of that, stuff I was getting rid of for the going into winter, because it'll be not winter eventually. And yeah, some of the stuff's starting to show up.
Nice. Speaking of things I need from you, because I need all kinds of help, because I'm not a functional human being by myself, we should go to Harbor Freight and or Home Depot sometime soon.
Yes.
I want to get gardening supplies, and I want to get supplies for cutting board making stuff.
Okay.
The weather is getting nice enough that I can go out in the garage and set up the toaster oven and melt all my plastic down, and then I just need to turn large blobs of plastic into pretty blobs of plastic, and then pretty blobs of plastic into HDPE upcycled cutting boards.
I thought using plastic for cutting boards was out of vogue because of, microplastics as you cut on them, and you can't ever really clean them because the bad juices get down in the things. And don't cut on plastics because of microplastics. Don't cut on glass because of sharding. Don't cut on wood because of bacteria. It's like, what do we just throw the food in the air and Fruit Ninja and have our guests below it? What am I supposed to cut my food on?
Marble.
You want to buy a slab of marble?
Yes, I do, but I don't have any money.
It's $20.
Yes, I do not have any money. No, I understand there are reasons to go away from plastic cutting boards, but at the same time, if I have an opportunity to upcycle some plastic into something fun and decorative, maybe make a couple dollars in the process. I don't figure it's going to be. There's no good solution is the thing. They're all bad in their own ways. You pick your bad.
Actually, wood is actually the better option.
Yes.
And yes, it can be cleaned, and yes, it's
They're there may be better solutions. There may be a best out of those better. But I am
I
a
was just
firm
giving you shit
believer
'cause-
that if it works,
Yeah.
and
No,
boy, how
seriously though,
did
if anybody
work.
actually knows us in real life, I do have a approximately 2 foot by 3.5 foot
Which
slab of
which one is
countertop
it?
marble.
Which one is it?
The gray one.
The dark gray one?
It's medium gray.
Like a battleship gray kinda.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
white veiny quartz one is what sold.
Okay.
I tried to convince them. I give them both of them for 30, and they're like, "Yeah, we really only need one. We're even going to cut this down." I'm like, "Fair enough. I'm just trying to make them go away."
No, I will actually take that one off your hands. Let me get $20 and let me figure out how I'm going to get it here and where I'm going to put it until it goes where it goes. But I will take that other one off your hands. I have plans.
Oh, I'll pick it up and I'll look if somebody wants it. I will put it in their car for them because I did the other one.
Yeah.
Like I can pick it up and move it. It is heavy. It is not exactly light, but one person can get into a thing. More than a bread box, less than a coin changer.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that's no good. And as always, if you need anything, let us know. One of the two of us will do what we can to help you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could make use of a large slab of marble. I have many ideas. I even have a grinder where I can cut it myself and shape it and all of that. Anyway, no, I need to get stuff to make mold boxes and welding gloves for twisting molten plastic with my hands. And then I
we
also
can do that
need
one
to
of these days.
pick up some stuff to make our garden boxes so I can plant my garden this year because I am doing it. I mean it. Y'all are here watching. Hold me to it. I'm going to do it for real. We're going to plant zucchini, and we are going to plant poblano peppers and probably other things. I keep getting told to do cherry tomatoes, which I probably will do. The thing is, I don't think about how many tomatoes I eat. I don't eat tomatoes. I do eat a lot of things that have tomatoes in them or are made with tomatoes, but I never think about tomatoes because I do not eat just tomatoes. And that's just a personal preference thing. Yes, 100% going to build a lifted garden. The whole reason I haven't gotten into gardening more before is the ground is so damn far away. So
I'm off Saturday, oddly.
I will get back to you on that. I may have plans Saturday. Cheryl wants to get together.
Oh.
She has craft shows coming up, and she wants to pick up some candles to sell on her table. Act as an emissary for the Bell Book and Candle Company. So I told her I would absolutely get her a couple cases together and plop them in her car and tell her go sell them. And then when she tries to give me the money, tell her, oops, I can't hear you. Your phone's breaking up. She'll be like, I'm talking to you face to face. And I'll be like, I'm going in tunnel now. And see if it'll work. It won't. She's smarter than that. But I'm still going to try it. Have your allergies started being allergetic yet? With the weather getting weatherous?
Yes, and I realized that the other day, and I took a
pill.
Spring. Yes, I took an allergy. I have very weird allergies. Claritin only works in the fall. No, Claritin only works in the spring, and Zyrtec only works in the fall, or the other way. I can't remember. Whichever one I have down here is not the right one.
That was the reason I was going to ask. I know we've actually done a conversation on the show before about your allergy treatment regimen because of the fact that the seasonal ones are different enough.
I think Allerclear is supposed to be Claritin, but this is Lordidine. This is the fall one. This is not the spring one.
Yeah.
But yes, whichever I have them upstairs. Whatever I took, I wasn't feeling all that great. I thought I was coming down with the bug that everybody had, and I took one, and I got about 20 minutes after it worked. I'm like, oh, okay, I know that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I gotta start putting those in my pills for my end of day when the morning happens when I'm sleeping. So I have allergies stuff in my system while I'm sleeping during the day when all the allergens happen.
Yeah. That way you can actually get some decent sleep and rest. Like in that graph you sent me.
Well, it was more to show, yes, I did actually get some sleep. Yes, I know I only slept like a few hours, but also I generally only get about 4 hours of sleep-ish.
Yeah.
So 4 hours on your futon was about average.
Fair.
Yeah. I'm like a half elf. I need some sleep, but I just need some rest time.
Not a full rest, yeah.
Yeah, I need 4 hours of a sleep and 4 hours of horizontal time on my phone.
Yeah. No, I feel it. I've been having sleep schedule drift problems again. I need to get out in front of that.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
That's dangerous.
It's also really tough because I'm still adjusting for the time change, and I realize it's just 1 hour and that it happens twice every single year. You'd think after 40 years I'd be used to it by now, but somehow no, I'm still not.
Somebody brought up a good point. I know it wouldn't affect adults very much because we don't work this way, but spring break for school age kids should happen when daylight savings changes, so they can use that week to get
onto the new schedule, the adjusted week schedule. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I absolutely get that, and I absolutely agree. If it's going to happen at all, I have mixed feelings about whether or not it should happen. I'm one of those people that says get rid of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Eastern Daylight Time is now Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time doesn't exist anymore. There's no more time shift.
People's opinions on it are very dependent on which side of the time zone they exist on.
Yeah.
The further west in your time zone, the more the change is pronounced.
Yeah.
Obviously, north and south, people in the south are like, huh? They don't even notice. But the more east, or the closer to the east you are, like, it's a bigger hit. But if you're in the middle of it, like, it's an average of the two. It doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
Like, you can chart out people's opinions of, like, should we go this way? Keep it, like, stay on one, stay on the other. And it's entirely dependent on how close to the east or west edge of their time zone they are.
That is a very valid and yeah, no, that is definitely a consideration there.
And I hate to say this, I hate to mention his name, but Lord Cheeto, Chief Cheeto in charge, brought up a very good point. It's a 50-50 problem. Half the people want one thing and half the people want the other, and it fucks over one half of the people and it fucks over the other half, and nobody can really decide which half because it doesn't really benefit either way. And it's like you end up in a stalemate, and then you're just like, fuck it, we'll just keep doing the bad thing because it's go to one bad option or go to a bad option or just stay with the bad option.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to either changed thing, and there's no benefit to staying with the other one.
I don't know about that. There are benefits to have with going to either change thing. There are a lot of inconveniences that come along, and it would definitely impact one side of the time zone more than it would the other. But there are marked, notable health improvements that come from doing away with it.
Oh, yeah. Just
Chubby Emu did a whole video on it.
If we could... Ideally, what we should do is split the difference. and slowly over time drift 1 minute at a time to being halfway in between, being 30 minutes on either way. So it just averages out in between the two of them. So it's not a shift either way, and just slide, but slowly over, like leap second smearing, just over time. Daylight saving 29 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, screw the rest of the planet, but just like slide America 30 minutes over, and we exist here now. That's not mathematically possible, but that's the way to do it. Is we need to go not one way or the other. We need to exist in the middle, so it averages out, and then we just. But we can't do that.
Yeah. There's no. Tell me if this sounds familiar. There's no optimal solution there, because each optimal solution is optimized for one problem, and this is several problems addressed in the best way they could figure out back then.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Point is, ever since then, I have been struggling to adjust my schedule, and I have been losing that battle pretty pronouncedly.
I was talking with a lot of the night shift people about it, and they're like, it's the one benefit of working night shift is that you're kind of immune to it.
Yeah. That is true. If you're there and you're awake when it happens, you are not adjusting for it. You are just there, and it is 2:00 twice, or it is not 2:00 at all. Yeah. Because I went through a couple of those at the hotel.
I was telling people about the 0 hour coding thing when they do in the fall when it rolls back.
Yep.
And they're like, "That's awesome!" Like, this will be and they do one the other way too. There's something else they do in the spring when we lose the hour. It's like the forgotten hour or something.
Yeah.
And there's a test to see how many you can set up fake events that exist at 2 a.m. on that date to see how the system handles it. Because ideally, they should never exist.
Right. A 2 a.m. So doesn't happen on that day.
Right. So what happens if you synthetically put a event in a log and you go to iterate that? It says, okay, now go 1 hour forward and get this. It's like, what happened? So it's like a unique edge case that you can test your robustness of your system.
Yeah. That kind of stuff's always wild.
Time math is nuts.
Time in and of itself is such a weird construct, and we've come up with the most elaborate bass-backwards broken way to represent it, and we change it all the time. Constantly. I don't just mean like shifts to the Gregorian calendar. I mean like time zones are updated monthly, sometimes more often than that. Which time zone you're in, new ones being created, the shifts in between them. Yeah, or swatch internet time.
Yeah, that was also beats.
Yeah.
That was a big thing with Phantasy Star Online, wasn't it?
It like sure was.
The swatch beats, because you're just like, we're going to meet at 700.
Yeah. And then everyone would know when it was, yeah.
Whatever, if you happen to wake up at 400 and I wake up at 1600, it doesn't matter. It was, we can agree when to meet, regardless of what the sun is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I miss Phantasy Star Online.
It's still there.
I know. I actually went and got one of them illegal programs. Okay, the program's not illegal, but I went and got one of them computer-based solutions to play your Dreamcast games. And I've been playing it. I've been playing through it again. I did miss it. I missed going through and doing all the missions. All the single-player solo stuff. That's an experience I'd really like back. What I really want out of an MMO is Phantasy Star Online, but now.
Like if somebody wrote it today, like with updated graphics and tech?
Yes, but the gameplay style and loop is still pretty much the way it was before. I don't want it made into a modern game. I want it prettied up and play online with my friends easily and conveniently.
You realize with the advancements in tech and computer just power behind it, you could probably do that in a browser these days.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know, with everything I've learned about Godot, I could probably do it in around a month.
Especially with AI, because you could just like framework out a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
You would not have to bootstrap your brain with basic knowledge to get to that point. You could
yeah,
have it framework the stuff out and go back and learn what the hell it did. But you could get up to between Googling and Stack Overflow and AI, you could get up to a 3D model basic framework to start turning into Fantasy Star in a language probably within an hour or two.
yeah.
You wouldn't know what it's doing, but you would have it and you could play with it.
Having tools like Godot specifically, I'm going to keep harping on that because I am really getting much more happy with it the more I play with it. It does a lot of things in a very weird, opinionated way, but it does take care of a lot of heavy lifting that I'm used to having to do, as long as you're willing to do things the way it expects you to. You know?
What do you mean?
The way that things are structured in your game, what owns what, and what are properties of which object, and what's accessible where.
Oh, like the Flash problem we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But when you get your head kind of wrapped around their object model and the way that the node system and the node tree works. No, Godot is the open source game engine. It's the Unity killer. If you'll forgive me that indulgence, it is the Unity killer. And it just keeps getting better. I went and updated to 4.4, and it gives you enhanced debug tools, which have been an absolute godsend working on the thing that I'm working on.
I would like you to show me next Monday. I'll come over a little bit earlier. I want you to show me sort of the basics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like obviously, I don't need to show you how to install it, but like how to get started with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the problem is, I tried to look at some tutorials on it. The problem I have with learning, going to view any tutorials for any new language, because this was the same hurdle I had with Python. Okay, they all, when you're like, how do I get started with this? They start you at zero principles.
Yeah.
Like, I have never touched a keyboard ever, and I want to go learn programming. They're like, this is a variable. This is the concept. Like, no. I know how to program. Teach me this language.
Yeah.
There's a gap at the bottom of programming tutorials that's like, I don't need, it's like I need like a 150 course.
Yeah.
I don't need intro to computer applications. I need, here's this programming language. I know what a variable is. Show me how to like hit the ground running with, here's how we do arrays in this language. Here's how we do this in this language, and then go off to on all the courses. But don't teach me how to program. Teach me how to Python. Teach me how to Godot. But every tutorial out there is written for your mother.
Yeah.
Or some high school student who has never touched, not even a Cliff Notes, because that would, I want
not just a language reference, but you want something built around the language reference. Here's how to do this in.
Right.
You already know what to do. Here's how to do this in.
I already know how to speak. I know how sentences are formed. Teach me Spanish.
Yeah.
You're not teaching me how to move my mouth and how to think. I am not 5 years old. I know how to speak a language. I know how to communicate thoughts. Teach me a new language, not how to speak.
The other issue I run into a lot, and yeah,
And especially with Godot, that's the problem I'm having, is everything is, here's how to speak. And it's like, no, I know how to speak. Teach me a language.
Yeah. And the wealth, the absolute glut, the sheer overload of video tutorials drives me bug shit. There are a ton of things for which video tutorials are perfect, and programming is the exact opposite of one of them.
I'd say I'm 50-50 on this. I've learned a lot.
Have you learned it more effectively than if you could read it? There's where I get stuck. Have you learned it as effectively as if you could see the words and copy text and scroll back? I know that you can rewind a video, but it's not the same as scanning back through text to find the anchor that you were looking at.
For some stuff, I would have to say it's the same way a teacher, like, some part of it has to get up there and pontificate for a little bit, and then they start actually showing you, like, a hands-on stuff. Like, it's some concepts really should be, like, intro concepts are just talking, and then you immediately have to start showing code.
Yeah.
And then, like, but at the same time, like, yeah, I can't.
Explaining something to me conceptually, I can even understand in a video. Showing me your code window to show me how to do something is horseshit.
Especially because people just don't. I don't know if it's just, like, the line of people that I found.
No, it's all of them. It's all of them.
No. It's the people that were making these videos. It's like they never looked at an editor or tutorial before ever. It's like, have you not seen, like, take a minute, record it, look at your video and realize that is shit. I need to see. Don't show me resizing your thing and let me make that look. No, have that ready to go.
Yeah.
I want you to waste exactly 0% of my time you setting up your thing. You're recording it. You're not doing this live. You can hit stop, rewind, and say those lines again. For the love of God, have your shit ready to go in your video.
At work, one of the things that I have done in the past and still do from time to time is volunteer to teach coding to high school students. And yes, sometimes we do interactive demonstrations. If I'm teaching remotely, I'm sharing my screen. If I'm teaching in person, I'm standing in front of a projector screen, sharing what's on the laptop that I'm working on. The first thing I do when I get in the room is I set up my environment so that I can tab over to the window and I am all set to go. Everything's at a size that's legible. I bring it up, I go to the back of the room, I take my glasses off and I check. Everything's in a color scheme that's readable. Same thing. I go, I look, I check. I make sure I have my reference document open. I make sure I have any files that I'm going to need already opened so I can tab back and forth between them. I do that stuff right up front.
I went and took a CPR course the other day for work because, I don't know, CPR. And the lady had her laptop plugged into a little projector and had it on the screen, and half of it was off the screen and it was out of focus. And at the end of it, and after she signed off of it and says, okay, you have officially done it, here's your card, you know, it'll be in your email, just forward it to your boss, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, can I offer you some feedback now? And I'm going to do it to you and to your face and not do it through the thing so it doesn't get reported. Yeah, sure. I'm like, F11 makes your browser full screen. The video will then be full screen, and it'll bring it in from the edges. Also, move that projector a foot closer to the fucking thing so it's not off the edges. Also, learn how this focus knob works, and I reach over and shh, and you could turn it into focus, and you could actually see the thing, and it wasn't blurry. I'm like, by the way, this knob on the back is for keystone, because you've got it at a really shitty angle, so half of it's blurry, top half is in focus, and the bottom half is blurry. If you turn the keystone, it'll account for that and be straight up and down, and then both sides will be in focus at the same time.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I didn't know it did that. And I'm like, how long have you been doing this? She's like, 20 years. And I'm like,
how did you not know it did that?
What you see on the laptop is not what we're seeing on the projector, because she's so zoned out of it. She doesn't consume it in the same medium that we do.
Yeah. No, that I do understand. She got very to the point of going through the motions with it, and because of that, the quality of the presentation takes a hit. And when you're giving a presentation of something of this import, it really can't.
Yeah. Well, everything she was telling us was in the book, and I told her, I'm like, I've been awake for 36 hours, and I'm at the end of my 17-hour day. I am not going to retain any memory engrams of any of this. I'm going to read through the book and actually learn all this, but I'm going to hold it long enough to repeat it back to you for you to say, has learned, and then I'm going to go home and sleep and forget all of this.
Yeah, it's not bonding. It's not sticking.
Yeah.
You'll get back to that point. You will have learned it, but not necessarily from the course.
Look, I've watched enough episodes of House. I know how to do CPR.
The thing is, I guess part of it is I have had it drilled into me.
Learning in general.
I've had it drilled into me, so I try to drill it into other people. The PowerPoint problem. Don't show me big panels of text and then read it to me. And watching someone type in an IDE is very similar to that. If we're doing it along together, now there's a difference here in interactive learning. It's still not the best way, but there's a difference in interactive learning. I can look around the room and say, we are doing this step. We'll write this line. I'm going to point at a person and ask them what it does. Hey, you, what does this line do? And if you don't know, popcorn it around the room. Or I can stop and say, okay, this is the thing we need to do next. I am going to let you guys steer. I'll work the pedals. Shout out to me what I should be typing, and I will type it. And you will get kids that will say something, and I'll type it in. And if it doesn't work, cool. It's not working. Who has an idea what we missed? Who has an idea what we did wrong? You. What do you got? You know? If it's interactive, there is value in having that demonstration happen live.
Mm-hmm.
If you are narrating to me the text on your screen, don't put it in a video. Put it in a text document where I can move through it at my own pace, forward and backwards. That's the other thing is, like I said, I know there's a rewind button, but videos are a linear progression. Videos are a linear process of steps, and they move at a fixed time rate.
It's the problem that I had with learning programming stuff out of a textbook.
Yeah.
Is that, first of all, reading in a big, thick printed textbook, just pages and pages of source code with massive indents, so it's like all halfway across the page, and then it wraps. I'm like, this is the worst possible format you could give me this source code in.
Yeah.
But it's got to be readable for the people that need to read it. But like, you're printing pages of source code, and you're just like in the worst possible formatting and everything. But I get it. But it's like, that doesn't do me any good sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
It's okay if I had to read it like on the train or something, and I guess I could look it over, but I'm past that point of needing that material. I need the actual text in the computer, and I don't want to type this in just to be able to play with this code example.
Yeah.
You know?
If only there were some better delivery mechanism, yeah.
Do you remember the C++ for U++ that had the floppies in the front that had the stuff, but they were outdated, so you had to go get the corrected C files from the website because Big Array was broken?
Yeah.
And the updated version, you had to get the updated version from the website?
Their big int that they shipped with the book was just busted as hell.
Well, no, Big Int was fine. It was one of the things that expanded on. I think it was like Big Array or something. Oh, no, that's what it was. big array was broken, so therefore big int didn't work because internally it was just a big array of integers.
Yeah.
And it's like all the way down, all the examples were just like not right, and we're like, but what the book says and what the files are different, but neither of them work.
Mm-hmm. It was busted
like,
all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah. And we literally at ITT, one of our classes was like intro to programming or something, but it was all like HTML, not JavaScript. It was literally HTML. And then we had to type in from the handout the lines of HTML that made the web page, then print a screenshot of the web page, and that's what we turned in to make sure our HTML produced the same result. We typed in HTML that was on a piece of paper into Notepad, opened it in the browser, and hit print. And everybody's page looked exactly the same because it's HTML and it's going to look exactly the same. It wasn't like make a thing. It was type in these 20 lines of HTML, print it, and put your name on it.
Yeah.
Like, what are we learning here? Nothing.
No, not at all. And
especially when our teacher graduated the year before.
Yeah.
She was literally a student there the year before, and then got a job as an adjunct teacher advisor thing the next year. And I'm like, she says, this is fine. I just taught it. I just took the class last year. Like,
yeah.
What? How do I have 20 more years of experience in this than you do?
Because that paper, man, that piece of paper.
I didn't even get the piece of paper.
That single damn piece of paper. Now I know it.
Paid $30,000 for nothing. I didn't even get a degree out of it.
Frustrating, ain't it? Beyond measure frustrating. But I don't know, man. It's worth it to. For the sake of anyone listening for whom I haven't had this conversation in person yet, it's worth it to go get that piece of paper. But man, does it suck, and B, does it not actually like teach you as much as you think it does?
I don't think that holds true anymore. It used to be true.
It's backing off specifically in the tech field. I will say that.
Yeah.
But for a very long time in the tech field, it was an interview coupon. Without an interview ticket, you could probably still get in, but boy, howdy, was it a hell of a lot more fight.
It's kind of being replaced with going and taking a boot camp, but at least they know your knowledge is recent.
Yeah.
The problem with tech, and especially programming in tech, is the stuff they teach you is no longer evergreen. They're teaching you languages that were made, and then because of the turnaround time on getting classes certified and then published and then reviewed and materials get printed, they're out of date.
Yeah. It's a field you have to actively stay out in front of, and that is not how traditional academia works.
Yeah, certs, but even then, sometimes those certs are basically worthless too, because, like I said, the other side of that is like the boot camps are also just like, cert factories. It's like, yeah, you took this for 6 weeks, so you have probably exactly 6 weeks of any experience.
Yeah.
It's not, I know this, I want to go get certified in this. It is, I knew nothing 6 weeks ago, and now I know some intro stuff.
I definitely know more. I definitely know some, but...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like foot in the door in the first place, though, you need something to show, and a degree fills in like 2 checkboxes, if not 3, on the something to show category.
Yeah.
what you know, what you did, who you are. Like there's a couple categories, and a degree ticks off a few of them. Anyway, stay in school, kids. I do recommend it.
Do less drugs.
Do your vegetables. Eat your school.
Eat your school.
You heard me.
Eat your school.
And do your vegetables. Hey, there must be a dog walking by outside. Is that what I need? Do I need to go get a CCNA? I really don't want to. I might need to, though, huh? No, I just need to. I just need to get successful with what I'm doing is what I need.
Maybe.
But we're working on it. We're working on it.
Maybe.
Oh, speaking of projects we're working on.
Yes.
I wanted to give you an update on Let's Cafe. I went and looked. Go on.
Go on. No, I'm listening.
You first.
No, I'm. Go on.
Nothing uses PubSub. We can close that ticket. I got the email because I was accidentally using the cafe token for something else that does use PubSub. Nothing in there actually uses PubSub. We're good.
Oh, okay. No. We were. I think we were on the web ordering.
Yes, but we took the web ordering back out for security reasons.
That's what I'm saying. I think we were, but we gutted that entire...
Yeah.
Like, we gutted that. We didn't just disable it.
Yeah. So it's safe to go, is what I'm saying. We can close out that ticket. I have not yet, but it is safe. I did find another project that I was working on that I need to go update, as I am prone to do. I need OnePass or KeyPass or some sort of password manager, except I need it for credentials and secrets of other types.
Okay.
I need KeyPass for tokens for developer apps for Twitch and Discord and every other service I connect to. I need a vault where I can label them and say, who am I this time? What application am I? Get me my secrets. Servant, fetch me my OAuth token.
I use 1Password.
Yeah.
But only because work a long time ago, when they were before they were issuing them as part of Jamf through, directory services.
Yeah.
They like, it's like, oh, we need to start using password managers. Here's the credit card. Go get one. And so like the office manager lady just went to their website and bought me a permanent license because they didn't want to pay like the subscription. Like, oh, she said it was just a thing, but what turned out was a lifetime key to it.
So
like
since you have it,
like,
yeah.
Oh. But and then they upgraded to 4, and they did this weird like upgrade thing where they're like, we're gonna honor, like we're phasing out the lifetime like permanent licenses, so we'll upgrade you to a permanent license to 4, but not a permanent like perpetual one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and so they did that, and then somebody fucked up upgrading it to the new one. And then somebody, like, it was, like, flagged weird. So, like, all the way up through the years, they kept upgrading this permanent license because it was this weird grandfather case. So I have whatever I think I eventually gave up and got the subscription one. But for, like, a long time, I didn't pay for it because somebody accidentally bought me a lifetime one. And then somebody accidentally kept upgrading it.
Yeah.
Because it was cheaper than doing anything else. And I had this weird grandfathered one. But I use 1Password. It's got support for passkeys now.
Good.
And And it did something kind of neat. If you log in, like, oh, I'm going to log in with Discord on this site or log in with Google, but you always get like 5 different options.
Yeah.
It recognizes that you logged in with a and not thing, and it saves a flag to tell you, hey, you signed into Foo website with Discord. And when you go there, it says, hey, remember to sign in with this, like last time you used sign in with Discord.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one of these accounts is it? It's like, click this button.
Yep.
And it just saves like a note. It doesn't save anything. It just saves like literally an entry like signed in with Discord. Because at least they'll remember that for you, which is nice because like, I don't remember. Did I sign in with Google? Did I sign in with GitHub? Did I sign in with Discord? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do get that. I do get that. We are just about at break time. I have got to run a certain puppy dog outside. So we are going to take a between 5 and 10 minute break. I'm going to run some ads. I'm going to play a little music in the meanwhile. I'm going to drop this file over in this window because, Fuzzy, you should go get yourself a drink and take a break. But at the same time, you should watch this video I'm about to send you while we're on break. Don't you go anywhere. You stay right here unless you're getting up to stretch your legs and get some hydration. We will catch you in between 5 and 10 minutes. Thank you so much. We will be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. Back here and bowling with you once again. We're back. No, we went outside already. Did you forget? We went outside already. We went. We're back. It happened.
This is the one I have.
It's tiny.
Well, the actual block thing is a little weighted. It's meant to be a what do you call it? The little dongle for like USB mice.
Yeah.
That you put in like the side of a laptop. Well, if you put it in the back of your computer, it's a tiny little thing behind your computer. So they give you a USB cord and a little thing to put it in.
Yeah.
But rather than just have a flopping cable, it's a little weighted block. It came out of a Logitech thing a million years ago, but it's so it can have your little radio dongle sitting on your desk. But I never use it for that, so I stuck my fingerprint sensor on it.
Nice.
And I just keep it right there on the desk.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Also, somehow I've managed to avoid Windows Hello.
It's fine. It's just an authentication layer.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I just, every time they're like, you want to set it up now? I'm like, no, not really. Do I have a choice in the matter? Because I'd prefer not.
I don't know why people are all, like, either I get something weird to my account, or I'm just not targeted for some reason, but all those people are like, I don't want to set up OneDrive. It's like, well, I already had OneDrive, and I never had any of the problems of, like, OneDrive, my desktop is not in my OneDrive. And
that's
like,
because you already had OneDrive.
No, but like even when I set up this computer, like it didn't offer me to do that. Like something.
That's
like,
because you already had OneDrive.
No, like setting up, because I bought a new copy of Windows fresh and like installed it, and then I set up all the stuff. Like it didn't like put OneDrive there and then put my desktop and all my shit inside my OneDrive. Like when I installed it, it didn't do that.
You had an existing Microsoft account though, right?
Yeah.
That had OneDrive in that account, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you create a Microsoft OneDrive account for the first time, it does that by default.
Ew.
Or at least it does now. It did not then, and it remembers and persists your settings from machine to machine. But now, the first time you create a OneDrive account, the big example is your desktop. Your desktop goes in the OneDrive folder.
Like I can see putting your My Documents in there. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, that was the original that was the original idea for the Microsoft Briefcase, is it would do that just physically with like removable drives.
Yeah.
That works. That's why Dropbox even exists, is because Briefcase was broken and they're like, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You just put your shit in Dropbox, treat it as your My Documents, and then it's everywhere.
Yeah.
My OneDrive is old enough, I still have reference to it as SkyDrive.
Yeah.
Do you remember when it was SkyDrive?
I seem to vaguely remember something like that, yeah. It's, but no, that's why a lot of people have had trouble with it, is currently, if you are setting up OneDrive for the first time on your Microsoft account, which is now a mandatory part of your Microsoft account, it does that stuff. That's why you didn't run into it. You were bleeding edge out in front of everyone before it became their de facto practice.
Yeah.
Whereas people like me, who are, I'm not a Luddite, but I'm resistant to a lot of types of change.
Well, remember that Windows Hello has nothing to do with any of that.
Correct.
Windows Hello is just a sort of omni authentication layer that you can authenticate any way you want to authenticate to your computer.
You are telling me that.
Yes.
They don't ever tell you that.
Yes.
The last time they rolled out an update like this and offered a new thing, it was OneDrive. And when you created your OneDrive account, that's the reason that I'm not in any hurry to set up their new service, is they don't tell me what I get out of it.
the disconnect there was that people pushed back because they're like, I don't want to log into my local computer with my Microsoft account. I want to be able to log in with a local account, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, you're old man yelling at cloud literally over nothing. I still have a local account, but that local account is also tied to my Microsoft account because all my fucking services on the computer are tied to it anyways. And when I log into the computer, I also, since I authenticated to the computer and that account is authenticated to my Microsoft account, I am now automatically logged into all my Microsoft services that my computer runs on.
Yeah.
All at once because the local Windows Hello authenticated to my Microsoft account and unlocked all of that.
Does Hello automatically log you into Minecraft?
It can.
Okay.
I think because it's a anything that bounces off of live.com does.
Okay. Then I think it should.
Yeah. Now granted, the other problem they have with the branding for Windows Hello was that originally it was only for the webcam shit.
Yeah.
And people, it only worked if you had a fancy, like, magic camera with two things so they could do the infrared, like Face ID, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what people see Windows Hello. That's what they think of. It's not. It's an authentication layer too. However the fuck you want to log in.
I don't know what it is. It's just called Hello, and it says it'll make it easier to blah, 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 but it doesn't actually tell me, oh, it's an authentication tool.
So the reason this came up, we were talking about briefly in the interval. I have a fingerprint sensor, and that's how when I first log in, I have to unlock my password manager. And I said, if you're going to use one, get one that works with Windows Hello, and get a way to quickly unlock Windows Hello without having to type in your master password. I can just fingerprint on my desktop, just like you do on a laptop or a phone or shit, unlock that because it makes it so much easier than typing in your long, secure master password. The reason that comes up is I've had this fingerprint sensor for a long time. Over the last year, I've lost a lot of weight, and you lose size out of like your wrists and your hands. My fingers changed enough. I was having trouble authenticating with the fingerprint thing because the curvature of my finger had changed enough. It was now making a different ID imprint. I thought the sensor was going wild. Bad, and I went and checked the forum. They're like, go re-register your fingerprint. If you've lost a bunch of weight, go re-register it, and it'll work. And it works perfectly now. Just boop, and it picks it up immediately.
That is absolutely wild.
What the hell?
Absolutely
it's a bloating thing.
Yeah. No, it makes sense when I hear it, but it's still, you never think about it, and that is absolutely unreal.
It's the same way people, if they lose enough like weight in their face and their cheekbones, they started having a problem with Face ID with that too. People that like lost weight, like it'll sometimes work and sometimes not. Just like, and it's a victim of white males making the internet.
Yep.
They had people that they logged in their face for Face ID as women, bloating and just subtle changes in the shape of their face, or during pregnancy, which can go up even a lot more. It wasn't working because no one thought to test that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that'd be the first thing I would test. They're the most variable thing on the planet. They change literally every month. You know?
Yeah, but
when that started happening, I had to like, oh, your fingerprint's not where you got to log in your password. I'm like, I don't remember offhand what my Microsoft password is because I never use it because I go through hell. So I had to set up the local PIN so I could quickly authenticate to it using a local 4-digit PIN. And I couldn't remember what my old PIN was because I hadn't used the PIN in forever because I use a fake fingerprint. And like, how do I get into my computer where my passwords are stored? So I went on the Microsoft website, logged in there because my phone could log me in. I could unlock my local computer through that.
All right, now that's handy. That's handy. I'll give you that.
Yeah, because it was sitting at the prompt and it was sitting there with basically an open connection to Microsoft. I'm like, hey, like we see you're trying to log in on a computer on the same Wi-Fi network. Are is that you? Can you double prove it's you? And went boop, and it logged me in. And I'm like, it's like recover account. It's like, okay, we'll just log you in.
Yeah.
It's like, and then once you're in, you can reset it and do that stuff.
You can go in and change all of that once you yeah. I have an interesting situation, problem, job, task. I have a relatively interesting thing that is tangentially related to authentication. I need to log into another computer. I need to figure out how to set up remote access to my Linux machine from my Windows machine.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what I need yet, but I do need to figure it out because I'd really like to be able to log into the bedroom server from this machine in case I need to do things to it.
Like, you need to SSH into it, or do you want, like, Samba shares to edit files?
Ideally, if it is possible, I'd like remote desktop into X.
Yeah, it's probably doable.
I'm sure it's doable, but I have no idea how to do that anymore. I need to go find a video tutorial and have a guy walk me through editing config files that are in low resolution so I can't read them.
So basically what you're going to do is you'll make an account on that on your Linux machine that has the same effectively username, but it's going to be some Microsoft bullshit. Your Windows username on that machine. So when your Windows machine goes to log in, it says I am, rather than JArtist as a Linux account, it'll be Jason Artist at Windows Microsoft blah blah blah, whatever your Windows actual account ID is, like the long form of it. You'll make an account with that so it can just log in. But yeah,
that is apparently what I need. I just need to make sure that I actually can connect from, like, I need to make sure I have whatever server side things I need done on that. But that is exactly what I need.
Serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, this is exactly.
Yep.
Just so I can stand up all the persistent stuff that I'm running out of the house. That way I can bring all the bots back online. People missed the counting bot in the Discord. The counting bot has been down for so long. I need to stand the counting bot back up. Don't go post in the counting channel, please. Please don't go post words in the counting channel. I'll have to go delete them. I actually debated starting a Discord. Not that I'm not already owner of and in way too many, but starting a Discord where no talking is allowed. Where just absolutely, he fucking put spaghetti in there. I'm deleting his spaghetti. It's not a number. Anyway, starting a channel like that's got counting and one that's got like post pictures here and whatever, but just no text chat. A no text chat Discord policed by bots.
Bots only.
Well, no, people can participate. You just can't talk. I should be sharing my screen. I just deleted a message from Andrew that said spaghetti, and one from Fuzzy that said words, and then a spaghetti emote from Fuzzy, and then I wrote no spaghetti. I'm standing... You have me here on record. This week, I am going to leave myself plenty of leeway, because despite the fact that it's a 3-minute... It's an 18-minute job, okay? But I don't know when I'm going to find 18 minutes. I'm going to stand ShameBot back up to police the counting channel in the Discord, Let me advertise the Discord in here again. If you're not already in there, make sure you get in there. And then when the counting bot is up, come count with us at the rebirth of the counting channel. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Okay. I had a brain thought thing.
One of those headaches with pictures?
Yes. Okay. We grew up of a certain generation. Okay. Very weird thing of time and media that we all consumed.
Yeah.
And you can tell somebody is of that generation because they can say a magic phrase and everybody, as far as I can tell, and this may be trailing off as newer kids are created, but anybody even fairly a little bit younger than us just kind of gets it and goes with it, and it's a universal statement, at least in all English speaking worlds. Somebody can say these words and everybody just gets it, nobody questions it. The phrase is Price is Right rules. What does that mean?
Closest to the amount without going over.
Yes. Why is that so just ubiquitous of we can just say that and everybody just knows what it means?
There were decades and decades where the Price is Right spanned when it was something that you would be exposed to. You would be at home during the day at some point, and that event was an outlier. A sick day from school was an outlier. And during that, one of the safe things for you to watch on TV, which is what you did because you couldn't do shit all else, was watch The Price is Right. It was a safe piece of media to consume. So because it was an event that happened during an outlier, it stuck in your head a little bit more. And every time it happened, it got reinforced because they called it out. You all know the rules. The closest to guessing the correct amount without going over will move on to the Showcase Showdown, play the minigame, Matterhorn, whatever.
Now here's the thing. The YouTuber, Tom Scott.
Yeah.
Pretty well known, red shirt, retired, all this.
Yeah.
Used to do a sort of panel show with his buddies, technical difficulties. They were friends in college. I go back from time to time and I will rewatch all 7 seasons. It's only a couple dozen episodes.
Yeah.
They are very, very UK, Britain, very not American. And regularly when they go to guess a number, they will say, are we doing Price is Right rules? It's so ubiquitous that it's even in another country, and they don't really have, there's not like a UK Price is Right. It never really made it across the pond to the east.
Right.
But it's so ubiquitous that even in other countries, if they're vaguely American speaking, they just get that.
It's well over half a century of common usage, though, and the fact that countries that speak the same language will have that idiom crossover.
But like, how long will that last?
It will outlive the show. It will outlive the show. I don't know how long it will last after the show, but it will outlive the show because there's no other convenient name for that set of rules. And being able to assign a name to the set of rules means that the name stays until something else comes up to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even, Drew Carey's been doing it, and even he's been doing it for quite a while now, and even he's been talking about, like, they're starting to kind of look for a replacement for him because he's been doing it for, I want to say, almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And he got old all at once.
See, I haven't seen it recently. Now I got to go watch for myself.
Yeah.
That's sad. I like that guy. I like that guy quite a bit. Like that one time he stopped in the gas station I was working at. Yeah. He's funny. He's smart. He's funny.
When did...
He's a hell of a good writer, too, man. Not just the comedy stuff, but at the end of Dirty Jokes and Beer, he had some of his short fiction, and he's a hell of a writer.
Bob Barker was the series' longest running host from its debut till its retirement in 2007 when Drew Carey took over.
Yeah. So 18 years, going on 20.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah.
For a replacement host.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, did they actually hit exactly 10,000 episodes?
Uh-oh.
Holy shit.
Big round numbers.
Wow.
Speaking of big round numbers, I have an important, unimportant date coming up this year.
What?
November 16th this year.
Oh?
I will be 2 to the 14th days old. On 11/16, I turned 16,384.
What fucking golden birthday bullshit is this?
I have no idea, but you know what? I was just thinking about it. The powers of 2. How old are you at 2 to the 1? You're 2 days old. How old are you at 2 to the 2? You're 4 days old. Okay, well, this year I turned 2 to the 14th days old.
Have you heard about golden birthdays?
No.
Do you know this?
I do not. This is news to me.
It's when your age matches the number of your birthday. So let's say your birthday's on the 15th.
Yeah.
Your golden birthday is when you turn 15. Because it matches the day of the month.
I see.
That's all that is.
I missed mine. I was born on the 7th. Damn.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here then, huh?
But it's like a alpha Z bullshit thing. And it's like, this was definitely made by somebody whose birthday was in the later third of the month.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
No, I like big round numbers. I like powers of 2. I like 29. I'm not disordered with my compulsions to the point of obsession or anything like that. I absolutely am not. But I am one of those. The volume has to end in a multiple of 5, and I'd much rather have it be a multiple of 10. I'll have something slightly too loud just so that its 2-digit volume ends in 0. And God help me if I'm trying to move a volume slider and it goes from 49 to 51, I'll burn the whole goddamn device down. I know, but go on. I got to know. No. Please.
Years ago, I was on my honeymoon, right? Had just recently gotten married, and we went downtown to the arcade, and the hotel there, like, because the upper floor of the arcade is still actually like hotels, and the bottom floors are shops.
Yeah,
it was a real nice city. We did stuff down on like East 6th and stuff. 4th? No, 6th. We went to the comedy club wherever the hell it's at.
Yeah.
The TVs in that hotel, volume up would increase the number by 4. Volume down would decrease it by 3.
Ooh. Oh, that's rough. Yes, you can get to any possible number, but oh, that's rough.
No, you couldn't. The lowest you could set it to was 1. Not 0. If you went below that, it would stop at 1.
So it would not let you turn it to 0 at all.
Right.
Okay, that's not okay. That's not okay at all.
She was of the family that, like, the volume has to be on a multiple of 5. It has to be, 5 or 0. And I turned on the TV and I went to go and, make it a little bit louder because we were, unpacking and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's a little too loud. I bring it down and I'm like, oh no. oh, no. I just turned off the TV. She says, what, why? And I'm like, we're not going to watch TV.
Yeah.
Why? And she turned it on, and then she's like, and I'm like, I'll let you turn it on. I'll let you discover this yourself. Not even 5 seconds after she turned it on, she went to go turn it. It's like, what the? Nope, and turned it right off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm like, what fucking modulo math problem like led to this?
If you don't show me the number, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you show me a bar, even if the bar is segmented, it's fine. If you don't show me the number, I'll put it on a comfortable volume. If you show me the number has to be right.
I
heard a statement that 5 is the most even odd number. And 13
I would say it's a round.
Is the most
round number.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to get good at mental math, learn your multiples of 7.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there's so many weird math things that work with the things that are like divisible by either 13s or 7s, because it's a weird gap in where the number chart goes that people never really learn those. 8s are easy because they're evens and they, tessellate into each other really easy.
Yeah.
And then 6s are kind of easy to do too, but like odd numbers, 3s have their own weird thing, but you can count by 3s because they're small enough and you can visually identify a multiple of 3. It's hard to identify a multiple of 7.
Yeah.
Or a multiple of 13. And it's like, oh, this, like, what is this weird? And it's like, oh, its base number is like 13 divided by 7. And so it's like, what the fuck? It's like a weird ass, it's like, you just don't notice.
Yeah.
That's what its base property is.
They're not
like,
groups that you have drilled into your head. Yeah.
Right. But it was like always like a weird thing in math puzzles. Like, oh, that's 13 baker's dozen. Like, that's 7 baker's dozens or something. And I'm like, why? It's like a blind spot in number memorization.
Yeah, because there are so many common tests for all the other divisibilities. Under 10, I remember watching a Vsauce video on this. Every whole number is divisible by 1. 2s are easy because they always end in a multiple of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 0.
Yeah.
3s, if you add the digits, it's divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. 4 is it even? Okay. Is half of it even? 8s are the same way. Divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. 5s, if it ends in a 5 or a 0. 6, is it even and passes the 3 test? 9, does it, if you add the digits, is it divisible by 9? Because, positional, base 10, whatever. 7's the one that has the weirdest, most complex test. And there is a test for divisibility by 7. There is a shorthand shortcut, but it is a formula that you repeat until you see if that number is divisible by 7. And under 100, it's memorize them.
I don't remember which one because I don't want to call it out on the right. One of the Matt Parker podcasts.
Yeah.
I want to say it's the
last podcast on the left. No, the other one.
No, the
Unnecessary Detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with Beck.
Yeah.
Somebody's question was about dates that are primes. Where all parts of the 3 different parts are all prime numbers and which dates and how many were. And he was talking about how he just like, it's like, well, we could work this out, or we could just like, it's like, I could just write some Python code really quick.
Yeah.
And we can just work this out. It's like, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and I'm going to go write some code and we're going to come back. It says, how long did that take? About 16 minutes. And most of that because I got distracted looking at something else.
Yeah.
And he just brute forced all the things and was going through all the math and stuff. And it's like, and he taught her one of those things of like, oh yeah, if it's all the numbers add up to 9, it's divisible by 3 or whatever thing you just said. And she's like, wait, what? She had never heard this before. Or it's like, it's like, oh, Yeah, if just all the digits you just add the digits up together, and then you can tell if it's like what.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's real easy ways to check for prime numbers, and it's basically go to the last prime number and count up. That's basically how they find prime numbers.
The nines one is interesting. Okay, I am going to talk Vsauce for a minute here. The nines one is interesting because it works because of the way we write numbers. We use base 10 positional notation. Every position in a digit represents how many multiples of 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 30, 30, that's 3 groups of 10 and 0 individuals. If I take away 3 groups of 10 and take a 9 out of them, I'm left with 3 individual units. If I have 300 and I take away 3 groups of 100, yeah. So just adding up the digits, if that ends up divisible by 9, your number is divisible by 9. Because all you're doing is saying, I need 1 out of each group.
That was one of the, when I was learning Python, that was one of the first things that I was like, I need to play along with different aspects of the language and get like the syntax. And I basically rewrote big array. I rewrote big int manually to play around with arrays and get my head wrapped around the weird way Python does arrays.
Yeah.
But I rewrote big int to just manually do additions and keep the individual numbers in an array and do carries. And it's like, this is the dumbest way to learn it. But you know what? I know how math works. I can do basic arithmetic, and this is an easy way to operate within a language.
Man, let me tell you, speaking of things in languages, can I tell you one thing I don't like about GD script?
What?
Dictionary access is always done with bracket notation. And JavaScript has me so used to being able to use dot notation for members of an object.
I agree.
I have, for golf, I have a collection of coordinates. They're vector 2s. It's just 2 ints associated together. And I want to associate names with them. But I want them to live inside of a collection. I don't just want to name 10 million individual constants.
Right.
I cannot make them an enum because the default type associated with a name in an enum in GD script is an int. A name gets associated with an int in an enum, hard stop. I understand that. That's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can put them in a dictionary, but then I use dictionary name bracket string in quotes name to get that value out of the dictionary. I can't do dictionary.name the same way I can with a JavaScript object. And I've just been working in JavaScript so long that that's my go-to.
I don't like the fact that they're intertwined and you can use them interchangeably.
Yeah.
I think if you're accessing what is better known now as a map, if you're basically stuff a human put in an array to access, I think you should be using bracket notation.
Yeah.
Because you are indexing a slot in a thing. I think you should only use dot notation if it is a library or a namespace, string.strip, math.parseInt, or, it is you're accessing a function in a namespace, but you should not access, const.screenWidth.
I like having
JavaScript's a weird exception because of the way everything is just an object all the way down and you can chain them. But it's like, if I am accessing my index into my object, into, my dictionary, I want it. And then it gives you the ability to use things that you can't do a dot notation like dashes. There's whole other extra characters you can put
Yeah.
in an object key that you can't put in a thing you can access with dot notation.
Yeah, it's just a finicky little nitpick. It's 2 extra keystrokes. I shouldn't be this worried about it. And all of it's just because I'm trying to organize things a little bit better. And tell me if this sounds familiar. Tell me if this sounds familiar. I made a list by name of the locations of tiles in a tile sheet. So I could say tile.top left instead of a set of arbitrary coordinates. And I did that early in the damn project this time.
I swear to God, I was this close to just like physically assaulting you with a Nerf weapon over some of the shit that you were doing in the Zelda game.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Just especially with the tiles. It was just like, for the love of God, I don't know what tile 17 is. You can give them names.
Yes. Yes, you sure can. And I sure did this time around because I did not last time around and I should have. And the biggest reason I didn't in Zelda, okay, let me rephrase that. It was dumb of me not to do it in Zelda. The biggest reason I never stopped to is I had a chart in front of me written in a notebook, which nobody else had access to, which would have been really goddamn helpful for everybody else that was working on it. So I have to remember to put my notebook in the code. So I'm trying to remember to do that this time around.
And if you put it in TypeScript, it'll do it for you.
Never pushed this repo anywhere.
What?
Golf.
Yeah, I know.
I need to put. When we get off of here, I'm going to push that up.
Did you push it anywhere? Does it only exist on your computer?
It only exists on my computer.
Hold on, I'm approaching your location at fast speed with an EMP. We need to erase it while it's still contained.
No, when I get off of here, the first thing I'm going to do is push it and make a channel for it in the thing. Even if this is the one even if it's the one to throw away, it's an interesting concept.
I think this is one that's going to be
worth pursuing and worth going through. Especially if I can get the lovely and talented Sixalona to help us with the art.
Especially if you can.
Oh man, I can like see it in my head already, and it's gorgeous and it's great. And I have learned so much. I know I won't shut up about how amazing Godot is now that I've decided I don't hate it anymore. This is what we want to use to rewrite digits, and I have most of the code built on accident from doing this.
Do we, though?
Yeah. Yeah, because I have picked up a lot of things from this that would go in a standalone Digit Dungeons game. That lets us have access to a lot of the things we wanted to do and couldn't originally, or couldn't figure out a good way to. If we are making a sequel to, if we're doing Digit Dungeons in any context, this is going to be the way we want to go with it.
See, I think one of the big advantages we had there was there's going to be friction because it's an executable game.
Right.
It's the same problem we had with it. Well, not the same. It's kind of the similar problem of sort of the same problem we had with Can Do.
Yeah.
Almost nobody played the executable version when the web version was there.
Yeah.
It's people are less, especially these days, where it's like, hey, here's a link to an executable. You want to try out my new game? It's literally become the name by name Discord scam of, hello friend, here's a link to an executable. Would you like to try my game?
Yeah, but I also don't, because Godot will let you do a web output target, we can always do a web demo, a web version, a web whatever, but we are becoming a
How does it do that? What is it outputting?
Webasm.
Like, what is it? Oh, okay.
Kind of the same way Unity targets it.
if they're actually compiling it. I wonder if they're actually using the assembler, or they're actually doing it just using the assembler as a container to something.
I'm not sure, but we could always go look, because I will say that exporter is open source. I'm sure it's documented. But the thing is, like, I am very much on the train of I like Steam as a platform. I'm really liking Steam as a platform for distribution. And this saves a lot of the heartache that we have in trying to do JavaScript in an executable.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, like, by making a game that is not web based, you inherently have to go with a distribution system like Steam.
Yeah.
Which has its own perils thereof. You know, because distributing an executable any other way is kind of like chaos.
There is itch. Itch is a valid option.
Right, but even then, that's kind of people are like kind of sketched out by that. Like, I have to go download this thing. It doesn't just show. People who already know and use Steam are really weirded out by itch and how just like raw it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to know where to download it or where to install it. Like, it just magically works. I just want to load my Steam and click a button. It's like yes, but somebody asked me why Can Do isn't on Steam, and I'm like, it's $100.
Yeah.
And we're guaranteed are not going to make $100 back off of that.
No.
So,
I don't know.
Not unless we add a bunch of stuff to it. People aren't going to...
Yeah. In current state, we wouldn't, for sure. You are very correct there.
Although...
Yeah. That one's still on my radar, too. Both variants of that particular thought are still on my radar. Yeah. I just caught a case of golf. I caught a case of golf as I was attempting to recover from sushi. So we'll golf. I'll pop that off the stack, and that'll put sushi back at the top, and then we'll pop that off the stack. But I'm keeping notes.
But see, that's the problem, is your ADHD is stack based, and what we need is it to be queue based.
Yes.
So that something gets fucking finished.
What we need is for my stack to be someone else's queue.
Look, we just talked about, you worked on this for how long, and you've got this developed, and you haven't even pushed it off of your computer at all. Not even like, I haven't made it public to the team. Like, it only exists on your computer.
Yeah, I haven't even made a private repo for myself of it yet. I do need to fix that. I need to fix that like post haste. I will do that as soon as we're done here.
It's not even version control at all on your computer?
No, it's in Git on my computer. It's just not pushed up to a private GitHub repo. It's not anywhere else. The only repo is on my computer.
Go use the GitHub desktop to do that. Try that out.
I am going to. It
is.
It'll let me create one in the org. That's the thing that code doesn't do.
It can if you have the good GitHub.
I don't. I just have the default Git tools.
Yeah, there is an actual GitHub extension that overrides the normal Git interface in VS Code, and it does work better, and it can work with org stuff because it gives a full session token opposed to a SSH personal token. It gets the full context window, and it can access all your orgs. I know this because of work.
I need to go get that then. Yeah, because that is exactly what I need.
Yeah, when they killed Atom off a long time ago, we switched over to VS Code. This doesn't work with a lot of the org stuff. Like, go get the actual GitHub thing, and it overrides it replaces it, and then you get like the full session token and stuff. And then you can, if you do that, you can also see the GitHub actions running in the sidebar, and you can trigger them from there with like all from VS Code.
All right. So I need to go get MOBA Xterm. I need to go get the GitHub extension for code. I need to figure out what I'm doing for dinner tonight. What am I doing? You know, all these damn memes. I want spaghetti. I want spaghetti for dinner. Do I have stuff to make spaghetti? You want to come over for dinner?
I got to work tonight.
Yeah.
I always got to work.
Fair. Let me send you
Last
some
night
dinner.
was my one day off.
I Grubhub you a sock full of soup or something.
You know, I gotta ask them, what are the rules of that? Could we just like DoorDash a pizza? Just have them like leave it out front, ring the doorbell, we'll come get it in a minute.
You know,
like the doors are locked, but like there's a door. Like leave it out front, ring the doorbell. We'll go the same way you leave it at anything.
Yeah.
Deliver pizza to grocery store. They're like, what? Don't you have pizza?
Yeah, but I have to pay for that pizza. Wait a minute.
No. So every Tuesday is Employee Appreciation Day. They usually have snacks and stuff. And then once a month is Night Crew Appreciation Day. And I pointed that out on the calendar, and I'm like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. I've been working here 2 years. I don't know what the hell that is. And then we asked our boss, we're like, what is this? He's like, technically, I'm supposed to like buy you guys treats or a dinner or something. And I'm like, have you ever done that? He's like, no. And I'm like, start doing that.
Yeah? Where's your budget for that been going?
Well, it's not a budget so much as they can expense it if he does.
Yeah, but I'm just being difficult. Speaking of other things I need to do, I no, not now. Am installing Flash Food so I can use your referral code. Ashley used your referral code as well. I don't know if they're single use or not, but
no, it's that's the referral code.
I sent it to her because she helped me finish that box of Kaz bars, and now I need to go get more. Quick, while they're still there.
Oh, is there anything? I don't know. They would. Damn, they close at 8, don't they? Damn. What was I gonna say? I have a question for you and anybody else that may be listening.
Yeah.
Is there a way to send a letter anonymously?
Yeah. Absolutely. How? Okay, well, you know when you put the return address on it?
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. I have printed the letter out that I need to send. I have not handwritten it. The problem is how do I get the address on the front of the envelope without writing it in my handwriting?
Address label, you can print one out. Or you can print it on a piece of paper and tape it to the envelope.
I did not think about that.
Or most printers will let you feed in an envelope, and it doesn't matter if it's upside down or right side up. As long as it's printing on the correct side.
I also did not think about feeding in a... Well, I don't know how to print on an envelope, though. Like, how do you print that on the envelope?
So, most of the time, your printer will have a way to feed in the envelope. Like in the paper tray or whatever, you adjust it to the right size with whatever. In almost any text printing, almost any layout program, any actual word processor, under File, there should be page settings or document settings where you can tell it the size of the envelope. That way you'll know it's in the right position on the actual page, which in this case is a wide rectangle. When you print, your paper settings should allow you to say envelope in the print dialog. And your printer will know how to handle it from there.
I guess I'm trying to do this in like Google Docs or something.
Yeah, there should be a way to do a page size from there, and it may even have a preset for the envelope size.
Google Docs print envelopes. There's an extension you can enable in add-ons to do it. Okay.
Also, you can just put something like near the top of a page and tell it it's a full page, and then the printer will just be like, hey, this paper's weird. Oh, well. You know,
Huh. Okay.
it doesn't have to be perfectly centered. If the to address is somewhere in the middle region of the front of the envelope, regardless of its orientation, it'll get where it needs to go.
But I thought about this. Like, I need to mail something to somebody, and I needed to not be in handwriting that they can recognize.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to think of how to do this.
Are you sending me a bomb?
No.
Uh-oh.
It's a rocket clock.
Oh, okay. That's very different then, yes.
No. Why does this envelope smell like cordite?
It's ticking. Modern bombs don't tick, they just vibrate. Meh.
I don't know. They probably should. They'd be less suspicious.
Is this related to another thing that you and I were talking about at dinner on Monday? Never mind. I think I might know what this is.
Type it in the thing.
I'm too lazy.
Okay.
I'm typing it there. That thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Yeah, and if you need help with that, I am happy to help. Hell, if you want me to print envelopes for you, I have a printer and a pile of envelopes. I just don't have your letter. Although, I could always print your letter and stuff it in the envelope and stamp it for you. That is also an option we have. Point is, we have solutions to this. This is a solvable problem.
But like I was thinking about, like, there's not a good way to. I would email it anonymously because there's ways to send an anonymous, 5-minute disposable email. But the problem is they would know it came from me because I'm the only person even remotely smart enough to know how to do something like that.
Yeah.
But like, if I sent a physical letter to the building, that could have came from anybody.
Yeah, I don't know how to say this politely, but they'd still know it was you because you care.
No, I've never mentioned it to anybody. I have a thing that I've never brought up, not even to my boss at all. So there's no like, I haven't even mentioned it. I haven't pointed it out. I haven't complained about it. There's some things that's like, if I mention it to somebody, they're going to be able to trace it back.
Yeah. No,
So I'm just sitting on one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I'm in a weird Venn diagram of people taking vacations that I've been able to discern in isolation. There's parts of the flow of things that aren't in play, and I've been able to isolate certain parts of the equation out to what is happening. Yeah.
I feel you.
And if you're from anybody from work and you're watching this podcast, no, it's not what you think.
Good.
Because I know at least once my boss has watched one of them, because I made mention one week that on Wednesdays, the reason I'm tired on Wednesdays is I have my kid on Tuesday nights and I take her to work or I take her to school, and then I got to sleep for a little bit, but then I can't sleep in later because I do a podcast on Wednesdays. And he's like, "What?" And then he came back the next week and said something to me that we mentioned on the show, which means he watched that previous week's episode because he found it through somewhere, and he's like, "Haha, I know where you're at now," and I'm like, "Crap."
So it goes.
But I mean, we are streaming this, and it is on YouTube. It's not like this is a private conversation.
Yeah, it is true. You do raise a very valid point there. I've just gotten to the point where I'm already as doxxed as I'm going to get. People can find me. Everyone's acutely aware that my username is pretty much literally my real name. I screwed up long ago. It's too late to fix it now.
Speaking of things.
Yes.
So you know I have that email problem?
Yeah.
Unique to me?
No,
I
have that too, but yes.
Okay, but mine's worse.
Yes.
I've been getting this one guy's what's the stupid my health? My health? Is that the thing?
Yeah. My chart.
I've been getting my chart invitations to go sign up for your portal account for this cardiovascular thing, and go sign it for 5 years now. They've been trying to invite this guy to go register at the cardiovascular lab or whatever. And I think he finally did it because I got an email about his portal account was created. And then for the last 2 months, I've been getting weekly reminders of his upcoming appointments. And then you missed your appointment and it's been rescheduled, and you missed your appointment and it's been rescheduled. And I got one of them this morning at 1:00 saying, "Don't forget, you got an appointment at 2:00 today." And I immediately got down and I called the number and I'm like, "Look, you don't know who I am and it doesn't matter. You've got a customer named Cyrus who has an appointment today at 3 p.m. I need you to put a sticky on his paperwork and tell him to change his goddamn email address. Somebody in Ohio is tired of getting his appointment reminders for 5 years." And they're like, "What the hell? Do you have a number?" Like, "No, I'm just a guy getting his thing, but I have the date and the number and the time and the location, and he has a meeting for an ultrasound at Unit 4 at this building at this location at this time." They're like, "Okay, hold on. I gotta look." And they looked it up and we figured it out. And you know what? I'm just gonna remove the email entirely. If you want, and we'll just prompt him for a new email next time he goes to do it. I'm like, "That's fine." And then I rattled off every one of his appointments going all the way back to prove that I'm not just trying to spam something. I'm like, "No, I have this entire history of my chart notifications going back to 2019 because I get his emails." And I'm like, it's like, "Well, do you have an update?" And I'm like, "No, because I'm not the person.
Yeah.
I'm a random guy that has a similar name."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "I'm willing to bet he's an older gentleman, and it's just a boomer problem because they forgot digits at the end of the email, because that's what happens, because I've been having this problem since 2001 when Gmail was created, when I set up the damn account."
Yep.
And every time I get one of these, I flip a coin. Do I want to be a dick, or do I want to be a nice person and try to resolve it? And you know what? He came up heads today, so I'm calling some random phone number in Illinois to try to get this resolved. And she's like, "Wow."
I get it, man. I get it. Time to switch everything over to your work email address. Tell everyone to email you at Hergel.com.
I honestly haven't checked that in a long time.
I can't not, man. I got to check mine every day. I may not be a zero inbox guy, but I got to check mine all the time.
I need to
I have my accounts.
Look.
I have my account links. Yeah, so I can just swipe up and down on my profile picture to go between them on my phone.
Oh, I did have this set up. I have it under a different Chrome profile.
Aha.
Oh, and I always forget. That's why I'm not signed in at the same time.
Yeah.
In Google, I have it under a whole Chrome profile to keep it separate, and I forgot I did. Because Google's like, "Hey, you already signed in another thing. You should not do this. Hey, spring sale starts.
Yeah. I didn't put us in for a discount. I'm a bum. Next time round. Next time round, we'll have a bunch of big updates because we're pushing out and testing some of the big updates. I need to go lean on Very Pink Penguin.
No. Oh, damn it! I miss having money to spend on games that I won't play.
Which one do you want?
Nah, there's nothing I really got time for.
Understand. If you change your mind, remember, I allocate a research budget for this, though.
No, because I'll just anything that I want, I'm gonna have like a Balatro problem. Is the thing? Is the game that I'll just get sucked into?
I feel it. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to go find myself some dinner as soon as I push this Git repository up someplace that y'all can get to it. And then there was a third thing I was supposed to do, GitHub extension for VS Code. I was going to do that. I'm going to get that set up. I'm going to go do all of that stuff. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us today. I hope you have had as good a time as I have because I love doing this. We're going to go raid the redhead because he happens to be online doing his thing. We'll go shower some love on my good friend Jiggy. And see, I don't remember if the drawing's today. I don't remember when the drawing is. I want to see if I won tickets to PAX East. I want to go to Penny Arcade Expo. I want to go to Penny Arcade Expo and see Game Court live. I want to be in the audience for that. I am going to regret saying that. Yeah, that's going to be no good. Oh my God, I'm going to go to that, and then I'm going to go back and throw up in the hotel room for 2 weeks. Go shower some love on my good friend Jiggy. Don't forget our raid call. Tell him Jardis sent you. We are here on the line. Thank you so much for being here for the Blue House Bull Session, and we will catch you next time around. Bye.